All right, guys, and welcome to the post show. I'm here with hopefully you're not getting an ad right now, but welcome to the post show. And I'm here with Wooden Potatoes here. He's gonna reveal himself for the first time. Oh, wait for it,
guys. You've been asking for it.
Yep, and there it is. And there's his face cam.
Wow.
All right, there we go.
Hope you guys enjoy that. There's been a lot of hype around that.
A lot of hype. All right, so you're going to have us for about 45 minutes until another interview with Colin Johansson and Mike O'Brien, or Mike O'Brien, or whatever you want to pronounce his last name. And then you're going to have us again to close it out. But, yeah, we're here now. So what do we have to give away?
So in the meantime, for these about 45 minutes, we've got loads of gems, guys. How many was it, Matt? 17,400 gems?
400 gems.
So if you are still currently playing Guild Wars 2 and not just coming back for the X pack here,
right?
There is a huge amount of stuff that we're going to be giving away here. We're going to be chatting about everything we just saw. I typed like essays out from the trailers and everything we've witnessed. So first of all, one of the main ways you can win gems, there's going to be 16 chances for you guys to win 400 gems. If you were to go to our YouTube channel pages and just leave a comment, that's all you have to do to be in the running for that. So 16 people will win those. We also have a massive prize pool of 6,400 gems all at once to one person. We got loads of codes and we decided to just go for a massive pot. So one person's going to win tons. That's like over $50, I think, right? And the way you can win this, do you remember the question, Matt?
Right. My favorite dye color.
In Guild Wars 2.
So everyone has a fair chance.
Yes. If you can guess Matt Visual's favorite dye color in Guild Wars 2, and it is guessable if you watch his channel, it is guessable, you can win 6,400 gems. And everyone who guesses it right, they will be in the running for that. So that's cool. Right. Also, we're going to be giving away 1,200 random gems like 4 times throughout the stream. So to people in Twitch chat, you can kind of go nuts for that. So that should be pretty cool. Do you want to do one of those right now, Matt, before we get stuck in?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. So okay, I've got a question for people. One of the main things, obviously, that they've announced here, which we'll be discussing very soon, is the idea of specializations. The idea that you've got your Guild Wars 2 profession and you will be able to change it some way. They specifically said it sounds a little bit like having a secondary profession. Range it into Druid, they said. They're going to tease us. They're going to say, oh, you don't get all of them straight away over the coming weeks. I want to know, this whole Greatsword Necro thing, what do you guys think that that's going to be called? The most convincing sounding person to give us an answer, you can get 1,200 gems. That sounds pretty reasonable, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. The spam right now for the gem one. For the last one. The big prize pool.
People have honed in on something, it looks like there, Matt.
Maybe. I'm not going to say anything. We'll give it away later.
So bad. Okay. Wow, brilliant. But yeah, the Necro thing. Seriously, what do you think it could be called? I'm so curious. It's just a name, but still.
Oh my gosh. I have no idea. It's crazy. I wonder if it's just one. I'm pretty sure it's just one profession upgrade for each profession. Right?
You want one specialization, right?
One specialization and one weapon.
See, I reckon it could be like Phantom. It could be Warlock. What you have to do really is look at other MMOs and be like, hey, they could take that. But you've also got all of the PvP
Death
achievements.
Knight. Mm-hmm.
Death Knight?
Like, oh man.
The Necro becomes the Death Knight? See, we were expecting the 3rd heavy armor class. I cannot believe they announced another profession. We were expecting that to be like the Death Knight kind of guy. Oh my god. What? The Renovant.
Souls.
Right? Jesus wept. We actually have a press release which gives a little bit more information, guys, on exactly what these things are. And their specific explanation here for the new profession. They say, channel legendary powers to slaughter foes and on the battlefield with our brand new profession, the Renovant. Enter the field of battle heavily armored and equipped with the otherworldly powers of the mist. So it's like chaos magic. I thought we were looking at a new Mesmer skill in that trailer, right? Like that like purple blob thing.
Right.
I could have sworn. I thought, oh, that was it. That's again. But no, that's a totally new class that Ritlock's now rocking out.
I thought it was just Ritlock just being awesome, and it kind of like Traherne, while Traherne just kept switching professions throughout the whole thing. I thought it was going to be something like that, and nope, it's a new profession.
Yeah, that's outrageous. And it was purple. So one of the things that they announced, I'll explain this to people if you didn't quite catch it. They said that as a Renovant, you can channel the powers of Malix. Malix the Unyielding was like one of the biggest, most dangerous bosses, especially for his original like release for the first game, like this giant Marganite monkey. It was unbelievable, and I cannot believe you're going to be able to channel him now in Guild Wars 2. And I guess that's going to be like that purple power. Does that mean you get to basically use the powers of the Marganites? Oh my goodness, dude. It's going to be ridiculous.
And we also, something that they didn't announce, you were mentioning the hammer for the engineer.
Right, yeah, in the trailer.
You saw that,
like,
yeah.
We totally saw, guys. I don't know if you noticed it. We're going to have it rolling on and on and on here. There's an engineer, totally an engineer. He's got the hammer. Did you notice that he has like these like little droid robots floating around him?
Oh, man.
I wonder how that's going to work.
I think a lot of things have changed. Like, when I saw them fly, I swear, I was like, hold up. They went flying mounts? Hold up, they went flying mounts? I thought they were going to do flying mounts. But no, apparently it's just like a mechanic in only that, map or area in the Maguma jungle. But it still looks pretty nice. And apparently you get to float on little air bubbles, kind of like some of those games. I forgot what a game used that before.
Where you're flying around and then you get loads more height and air because you move over a certain gust of wind.
It was in Banjo-Kazooie. It was in a lot of those old platform games as well. I can feel that. And you unlock that by the mastery system, which I'm excited about because it's going to unlock new abilities, which is going to be nice.
See, yeah, this is something I found really interesting. Basically, they came out on stage, and Guild Wars 2 has always been in a weird place as a game because it's attracted an audience of people who don't care for grinding for gear, going through this rat race continuously, and now it's saying, okay, we're getting an expansion, and it's just like Mike said, people expect level cap increases and stuff, and it was always, will Guild Wars 2 do this? Yeah. And there was one very specific moment during that talk there where they said, no, there's not going to be any new like gear tiers or anything like that. Note that we're not going to increase the level cap. But we are going to give you progression. And it's like, how is that possible? Like mechanical progression. How do they? And this is their answer then, right? The mastery system. It sounds an awful lot like what we had kind of in GW1, where you could grind for, and then they say that you shouldn't be grinding here, sure. But in the first game, you could essentially progress yourself through specific rep tracks, so that while you're in certain regions of the world, you had bonus stats. So, you spend a long time in the far Shiver Peaks, and you get more health in that region. You've got more energy in the Tarnished Coast. It sounds like they're kind of going back to that, right? And they're testing the waters with it first in the jungle. Do you think that that's just going to be a staple for the franchise going forward now? Whenever they add
I was thinking about that. I was thinking like every expansion they have like these huge areas that they release, and it's going to have a new system around. Well, not a new system, but they're going to be using the master system around this, the mastery system around this, and having new mechanics around this area, which I always wanted, which is crazy. A lot of the stuff that I wanted came in this patch, new mechanics around the map, and if it's as huge as they say it is, with new maps and dynamic events and stuff like that, there's a reason to be there. It feels good. You go there, it's like a new area of the world that you can go to while you're, at level 80. The game doesn't really end. You have all these other places you can go and you get
you
armor
can have that
sets
slow progression,
and all that type of stuff. And what they showed is like only just like a little teensy part. There's all these other things that you need to know about the game, like what armor sets are going to be available, what are the skills, what are the dynamic events? Are the dynamic events going to have a little bit of story tidbits here and there? What are the extra lore? You remember when they're saying about that you can unlock locations,
the lore
of the
masters,
lore,
yeah, translate ancient languages,
and
like, what
secret
is
locations inside these huge areas. They didn't mention jumping puzzles. They didn't mention jumping puzzles.
That's
I want my jumping puzzles.
They did say at one point that you could get mastery points for exploring difficult to reach places. That to me sounded totally like jumping puzzles.
Right.
Sounded to me like, oh, this is, like what a lot of the stuff we just ding achievements for at the moment. Maybe they'll have more meaning now because they give you mastery points, which you can spend on stuff. I'm wondering, do you think when we first go into the jungle, we're going to have this experience where they say there's a lot of verticality in the map? Do you think we'll just be like on the floor, and all around you as a player, you're looking miles above you, and there's all these places you can explore, and you'll even see other players around doing it, but you're a noob to the jungle and you don't know this stuff just yet. So you're constantly wandering around with this excitement of knowing you've got more places you can eventually explore. Like serious Metroidvania kind of style vibes going on, specifically while we're in the jungle. you know, and that's really exciting me to think of that kind of thing, like doors that you won't be able to open until you're mastery enough in some guy's ancient language, and once you've got the hang glider, you can fly across the entire map, and if you try just hard enough, you might get to somewhere insane.
Yeah,
you know, like the legendary llama. Oh my god,
I'm
dude.
so game for it. So game for it.
Do you want to talk? I will say though, I do have a bit of a disappointment.
What?
It's only the jungle, man. What is this? I was hoping for all these different regions. You know, and amongst everything else that they have revealed, it certainly seems like there's a lot of substantial stuff coming into the game. But it is curious to me that we're just going west. We're just going into the jungle. And I guess maybe there's room for other stuff, but don't you think they would have mentioned it?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be only the 3 maps. I really do think. I think they're probably really, really huge, and that's why they're making it only 3 maps. And
did they say that specifically? Just 3 maps for the jungle?
3 maps. Yeah.
Interesting.
3 separate maps.
See, and then of course we do have the world versus world side stuff going on as well. But I mean, it really looked like they were setting up for Crystal Deserts type stuff. Maybe they are holding some things back. You know, maybe there will be extra regions that we get to explore, or maybe after this expansion comes out and the Living World returns, we'll see even further modifications to the way that works, and then we'll be able to. Because what doesn't excite me at the moment is the idea that we have to wait for an X pack every time we want a single new region to be dropped in the game. Does that make sense? You know that?
Yeah.
Even with everything else. I mean, look at this shot on the trailer right now. It's just ridiculous. I swear, some of these places that I'm seeing, just the idea of how many more different areas you can explore now that we'll have all these different ways of traversing the terrain. Like, what? Are we going to be able to climb trees and stuff? I remember one of the very first things they ever said about Guild Wars 2, back in like 2008, they had on their original press release, and some people out there listening right now will remember this. They said, Guild Wars 2 is going to let you swim and jump and climb trees. And then ultimately, this was one of these silly little things that got dropped. But you look at these epic scaled plants in the jungle, it's like, you know, maybe we've actually got there now, you know? There was a few other things I noticed as well. Before we go into maybe some of the other features.
Right.
What do you think about the fact that they totally didn't tell us at all a price or a release date?
Right. I feel like it's gonna be this year. I think they're trying to delay the hype out. You know, they say, okay, we're going to give you a little bit of information, but they want to spread it out to keep the hype going. And the release date is something that they can just shoot out. They can just shoot out, and then everyone's just like, oh, here's a release date for that awesome trailer that we released and the new expansion for Guild Wars 2. That would get some more hype, and that would be a big day for them. And I think, you know, and I think that's just another bomb they can release later instead of releasing all of it right now. They want to blow everything right now.
Yeah.
You know? So I think that's what they did. Or they, you know, they're probably looking at the audience reaction, like, okay, let's see what's going on before they actually release everything. Do you think it's gonna be like a free expansion? I want a box copy. I really do want a box copy.
So do I. I want to collect
it. Not because I want to pay for it, but because I want the physical box. You know, I like stuff. I like to collect stuff. So
yeah, you know, I am very curious. One thing I was really expecting. I mean, it's ArenaNet, right? They have always been trying to reinvent the wheel. And you can say, oh, maybe they still are because they're releasing an expansion and it's unprecedented for a game in the MMO space to release an X-Pack without an increase the level cap, without, you know, more gear grind and stuff like that. Like, that is pretty new. But I was totally expecting something business model-wise that would be different. You know, I was expecting them to discuss how they don't want to fracture the player base and they want everyone to sort of have access to things. And they just didn't come out with any of it. They didn't give us, oh, you know, we're going to make it cheaper, or, you know, we're going to discount the original game. There's a reason it's so cheap at the moment. It's 75% off. Just none of that was involved, and that is very curious to me.
Right. It could be something really, really bad. They're like, oh, it's going to be
$70, baby.
yeah. We're going to milk you guys. But, I mean, I think it has something to do with, you know, they're just trying to generate hype over time instead of it, you know, letting it fizzle out. Like, oh, a new expansion, and then that's it. Because they didn't really show – they just showed this trailer, and that's all the footage they showed. I was hoping that they showed a little bit of the PvP, new gameplay. I mean, all of that was shown in the trailer, but just like little, like couple seconds. Like, oh, that's cool, and then it switched. Oh, that's cool, and then they switched. You know, I was hoping that each one had individual videos of like, okay, this is the new World v World map. This is the new PvP map. oh, this is some of this. You know, they showed a lot of PvE, but I'm pretty sure there's a ton of guys who would like to kill some people, me included, in World v World.
So what's your take then on the PvP side of things? I'm curious. I for one, people who know me, I have desperately wanted something that's not Conquest for a long time.
Me too.
I'm so pumped about Stronghold. By the way, in the speech that was given, Colin specifically said, "Oh, people might be familiar with this idea. If you're not sure what they're talking about, actually, there was a mission in Guild Wars 1 called Assault on the Stronghold, which essentially was this idea of you teaming up with a bunch of Char to try and take down a big stronghold. And that's probably where the inspiration for the name of this is. But it's basically GVG, guys. It's real GVG, not Zergs blobbing into each other in World versus World. It's GVG as we saw it in Guild Wars 1. Changed, of course. We don't have like the flag stand mechanic. It looks like from some of the old images we saw, we have stuff like Trebs. We have the ability to hire heroes, spend supply to create creep. It seems a bit Dota-y, dare I say? Do you think?
I wonder how that's gonna work. I really do. We've seen this before. I've seen the MMO do some type of MOBA style, and I feel like it didn't work properly. But
right?
I would like to see how this is done. You know, it might be really cool to see some build diversity with the way, you know, one will kill creeps very fast, or one will just
right,
like
that's
you know,
the thing.
take the aggro of the creeps and move it somewhere else, and I would like to see some crazy stuff like that. Yeah,
we have the meta for Conquest right now, and the balance of Guild Wars is incredibly strong. They do all of their balancing from a PvP perspective, and I think they have a very good understanding and grip on the way things are working over there. But can you guys just think for a second, when we get a totally new game type, the roles that people will have to fill within teams can be blown completely out of the water.
Yeah,
we're going to
no
see
more
totally
bunker.
new stuff, Fireball.
Oh, please.
Oh, I don't know whether... Okay,
no,
okay.
no, I don't want to be a bunker. I'm going to stop playing Guardian. That's it. I'm going to stop playing Guardian. Forget it. I already moved on to, like, all my other classes anyway, so it doesn't matter. I have level 80 on everything, so...
Reroll a Revenant?
Absolutely. It's just another class for me to level up to 80. I have all of them.
What do you think Guardian can specialize into, though?
I've been thinking about that, and I thought it was gonna be like Meiji, you know.
I reckon they'll get a longbow, and it'll be like Zealot or something.
Yes, please. It has to be a bow. It absolutely has to be a bow, because they didn't announce any new. Well, they didn't announce any new weapons, so I don't know if there.
That's a good point. My God, they didn't, did they?
No, they did not. So they did not mention that.
We have in our press release though. They totally did say that.
Where?
So we can tell people about this. They totally said, look, oh no, this is okay. So specializations evolve your gameplay with profession specializations. You'll unlock access to a weapon previously unavailable to your profession, as well as new traits, skills, and unique mechanics, all of which will transform your profession into something new. So we're seeing all this stuff with spears, but this doesn't. Is that why we see spears? Is a specialization for some classes the ability to be able to wield an underwater weapon on land? Is that what they're doing?
I wonder.
That's really curious. And then that would be Guardian gets Spear as a specialization.
No.
And they become a Paragon.
No. I want a longbow.
Why?
I want a fast attacking range weapon. OP for life. Yeah. I can't wait to see the utilities. That's what I want to see, and the new elite. I want to see if these are just like another heal skill. You know, I really do doubt. But because there's so many skills, there's no way like no one's, you know, the builds are not going to change. You know.
Well, they had another quote as well, didn't they? While they were talking about specializations, where they said specifically that like it would allow you to like in tandem with traits or something, it would allow you to completely change the way your character was working. Like, so I feel like it has to be more than just. I mean, a new weapon, a new elite, a new heal skill, new utilities. Is that enough? Do you think, or do we want stuff trait sides too?
But they didn't say there wasn't any new traits.
They said
there is new traits.
Well, absolutely, but here they say profession mechanics, new profession mechanics,
new traits, skills, and unique mechanics. I wonder if they ever add like another branch, another branch to the.
So you get two, like Maple Story style, where you're like, okay, all right. And this is another question we had.
Right.
This was another thing we had, right? Can you go back? Is this a permanent decision you make with this character? They described it as being sort of like a secondary profession. Now, in the first game, those could be hot swapped. What do you think, Matt? Can you go Paragon or Zealot? And then it's like, all right, your character visual, if you go for Zealot, then you can never be a Paragon? Are they going to tie that into big, long, arduous
I think
quest
they're
chains
just doing one specialization. I think they're doing only one
for each
specialization
profession?
for each profession, and hopefully you'll be able to go back, or it's just an upgrade to your account.
Well,
I don't want to see some, it being upgraded and then, because they said, like, when they were talking about the Ranger, they say it changes the way the Ranger is played. That's what they said. It
yeah.
changes so I'm thinking, like, that makes me think, okay, once you upgrade, is it going to change my Ranger forever? Are they changing the whole class forever, regardless if you go to the new profession or not? Like, I wonder about that.
See, my thing is, if there's only one specialization for every class coming in,
Right.
Why is this an interesting thing? It's just something everyone's going to get. If it just adds stuff to your class, right? It doesn't necessarily take things away.
Right.
Well, then it's just like, oh, everyone's just going to do it. There's not actually much. There's not much in the way of an RPG decision to be had there. It's just, oh, well, I'm just going through my natural advancement. There you go.
But if there's two for each, would you want them to be able to switch between the two?
I personally, now this doesn't sound like Guild Wars 2 to me. I personally think it'd be pretty cool if it's a permanent thing, because then that means people, now I have a reason to have 2 elementalists on my account, like.
But that's going against what they believe in, and what's going to happen is people are going to make 2 guardians, two. And
then what? You've got more people traveling around the world and feeding into all the different types of content and economy.
Right.
Isn't that a good thing?
Trust me. Yeah, that's good, but that's not what they want. They don't want people to be able to have to redo everything, and so it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
So you think it will be very open, HoT swappable?
HoT swappable, yeah. I think everything they've done so far is always like that.
What about swappable, but behind a large gate of money and/or time?
Oh, kind of like how they do crafting.
Kind of, yeah. So like, and this would be perhaps a terrible example, but maybe you need to get 10 days worth of stuff before you can swap your specialization again.
Oh, jeez.
Well, maybe swapping your specialization isn't something you want to do that frequently. That 10 days is a really punishing gate.
Mm-hmm.
We can't really say that for now, can we? But I feel like having some permanence there would be good. One thing I've wanted for Guild Wars 2 for a long time is to feel more identity in the specific decisions I make with my character, instead of it just all being this blob that I can just, swap everything around whenever I like. So I like the idea of them having a bit more permanence. I've got my Elementalist list, and she's going to become an Arcanist after this patch, and that's cool. And then I'll have a Magus on my other Ellie. That's cool, Those are decisions.
I don't know if I want to level up another character like that. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind, but like I don't know if I do. Even though I kind of want my guardian to be a Asura right now, and I have to recreate it. And I'm not doing that. But I'm not doing that unless it.
Those animations, though.
There's a purpose. Yeah. Those animations to swing your hammer around and whack like this little Zora whacking a huge Norn away. Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's like playing golf in World v World. But yeah, I think it's just gonna be one though. I think it's just gonna be one extra buff, and then like the next expansion is like another extra buff, and maybe a new race that was never announced because we didn't get the Tengu.
Yeah.
We didn't get the Tengu, and they didn't talk about dungeons either.
That's true. They didn't. I thought there would be so much more talk about hardcore things here.
They mentioned like group
challenges.
Instances, yeah, but they segue to guilds. So I wonder if they were talking about guilds with that.
I mean, I find it interesting that a lot of what Colin said opened up with, what do you guys want? You don't want rat race gear grind, but you do want challenges. They said that. So I do think that slant is there. I do think we can expect more of this stuff, but they should have mentioned, hey, fractals are on the tables, guys. There's going to be big changes to fractals. Dungeons, look, we appreciate that they're not exactly what we originally wanted at launch. We're going to change them. We're going to add new ones, whatever. But that we didn't get any specifics, Some of these things sound great, but we didn't get specifics on them, and that's a little bit disheartening to me,
I always like in an MMO, because I've played tons, is going back with my new character, my new decked out character, new skills and everything, and playing the old content and see what happens, what changes. And in Guild Wars 2, there hasn't been much of a push outward yet, to the point that Ascalon Catacombs is old, considered really old. In terms of there's a whole new set of dungeons that we can go to now that no one uses catacombs anymore. So going back as a revenant and just like seeing how I can destroy or solo the whole Ascalon
Dungeon.
Catacombs.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole dungeon, and other dungeons as well. I wonder if there's like unique ways now. I would like to see how the skills work, because I was seeing Kaith, playing her in season 2 was really cool, and I'm like, it felt obviously it felt overpowered, but I would love to see like, what if the thief uses moves like that, or at least some of them, swinging around like that and aiming your skill so you won't like swing off the screen, and it seems pretty cool. Seems pretty
Absolutely.
cool. I'll totally be down for something like that.
Have you really got, this is slightly off, but talking about the idea of going back through, especially with masteries, right? Like potentially augmenting this kind of stuff, especially with like difficult content. I'm wondering whether their whole mastery system, doesn't this sound, you know how in other MMOs where they set up like a raiding endgame, which ArenaNet definitely didn't mention here, but they set up the idea of attuning to different raids, right? And you have to go through these gates before you can play them. Do you think that they're going to be using the mastery system for something of a similar effect? Do you know what I mean by that? So, like, we're going to have to work for a lot of mastery points to gain access to this really, really hardcore, difficult stuff. And so that is a lot more, but there's so much, like, prerequisite information they need to give that's why they don't talk about this kind of feature in this big discussion here today.
Right. He'll be up there for hours and hours and hours and hours.
Right.
No one wants to say, listen to Cullen, read down a patch notes.
Dude, I would. If I get all the patch notes about Heart of Thorns, I will sit there for 10 hours.
Yes,
Let's do it. Go get the coffee, guys. We're in for a long one.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. Also, people have been answering this. I'm going to answer it right now. By Argus, I'm butchering your name. He says both Guild Wars 2 Heart of Thorns is available. You'll be able to buy it digitally and box editions in retail stores from the fact page. She says, or he
interesting.
Says.
Okay, cool. Well, that's pretty cool. Does that mean then perhaps we can get it with gems? People have been wondering about that for a while.
I wonder. They did the digital deluxe copy with that. You can upgrade your regular account to that in game for like what, like $20? Yeah,
something.
$20. Yeah, like 1,600. I might be wrong, but I think it's 1,600.
They'll give us the collector's edition of this, or the deluxe edition, and we got a mini Ritlock before. Now we'll get mini Ritlock Revenant style with his blindfold and his new armor, and that'll be.
I am down. I like box copies, so
yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna give me a box copy, and get me. Hopefully, it comes with a little mini. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A little mini Revenant Ritlock. I would like to see something like Lord Fallon naked.
Wow. Well, he's
not
out there
naked, with underwear, Speedo. Yeah.
Oh my! There's so much lore stuff here, dude. I keep watching this trailer like roll by and see them clearly talking to 3's art. Clearly, all of these golden environs that were hinted at the last in the finale to do with the architecture of the Forgotten. Do you remember Colin said this crazy thing? Glint left a secret in the jungle for us at the end of the events of Guild Wars 1. What the hell? And we're gonna find this secret, dude. This is gonna be bonkers.
I just like how that door just appeared. You just like, oh, okay, and then all of a sudden this big civilization underground. It's
yeah,
really, really cool looking. We don't have that type of stuff right now. Like that's the feeling you get when you first started playing Guild Wars 2, and that's the feeling I wanted from an expansion. I feel like it's gonna deliver. When I'm looking at this trailer, I look at these shots, and I'm like, wow, okay, I'm gonna explore the heck out of this. I'm going to glide around. I'm going to believe that it's a mount because I didn't get my mount. I know everyone hates mounts, but I want a mount. But that would be a pretty cool concept if the next expansion has some ground mount that you can, get on.
There could still be a lot. So let's talk about this idea. How much do you think is there that hasn't been discussed yet?
A ton.
It's like more emotes, stuff like that. There's a lot of small features.
A lot of dances. Yeah. The stuff everyone cares about.
There's a new.
He was talking about the biggest social MMO, right? You got to add dances and stuff.
Yeah, well, they haven't added too many new emotes.
Well, what about some World v World chat like in DayZ? yeah, get crushed, son.
Oh my god! We talked about PvP. What about World versus World then? I don't know what they meant when they said a new rotating borderland. What?
I wonder
what does that mean?
They're probably gonna rotate between the old one and the new one, maybe.
Depending on the day that you're playing.
Maybe in the tournament. Maybe in a tournament, or like in the tournament, like every 2 weeks something switches to keep it fresh and new, and maybe they upgrade the old one as well. Because like once you play the new one, and if the new one is as glorious as we think it is, then no one's gonna want to play the old map. People are like,
Exactly. This is what I'm thinking too. What I wanted was big changes to the old maps, not just the addition of new stuff necessarily, but World vs. World. I feel that there's a lot of cool ideas they should be changing about the existing maps, right? Like, and I get that would perhaps upset some people incredibly established within the World vs. World community right now, but I do think that in general change is a good thing for that game type right now. And I suppose if they're trying to add in addition, then that's fine. The thing that really interested me most was they said, you know, this is like the biggest thing that we've ever done in GW2 to date, like in terms of the size of the map or the scope of it. And I don't know whether that's in relation to like how ambitious they've been with mechanics or just sheer size and scope. And the idea of having like just these immense World versus World maps excites me a lot, because people have always said, you know, your freedom to waypoint around and the speed at which people can move sort of stifles the whole, you know, large army style gameplay. And maybe this new map can fix that. Think about the current Borderlands size, except it's got all this ridiculous verticality in it, right? And they don't actually have to make the map necessarily bigger. It's just there's so much more going on for every square inch because there's all these different levels you could be going on. It'll be really interesting to see what they've taken from Edge of the Mist and applied to real world versus world, you know?
It's going to be quite a zinger. Did you realize the art style of the enemies? It feels very crisp. I don't know.
Yes, right? What is it? Is it just the trailer that they've somehow changed things?
Did they pre-render that thing? Is that a little bit CGI there? Yeah. What are you guys doing there? Because if that's in-game, somebody's potato PCs are going to be messed up.
Yeah, guys, in chat, you're seeing this too. Look at some of these shots of the jungle, guys. They're ridiculous. I cannot believe that they're so dense. And you're right, the enemies,
like,
it seems like the
shading. Look at that. Like, what is... That's pretty detailed. So I really wonder.
Yeah, it's ridiculous to me. People were looking for like DirectX 12 or improvements. Do you think we're actually seeing engine changes to the game to, you know, with its ability to render this stuff?
I would love some optimization. I would really love some optimization.
Do you think that they just wouldn't talk about that at an event like this? Because that's one of the most boring as sin things you could possibly say. Yeah.
Oh, now you can run at 60 FPS without no problem. And everyone's just like, oh, yeah. Or there was like a standing ovation, like, yeah, that's it. We don't need an expansion. You could go ahead and, you know, yeah. But yeah.
I find it...
Yeah,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I find it curious that in the trailer, we're not actually, except Ritlock, correct me if I'm wrong, we're not seeing any of the other characters. Ritlock is like stealing the show here, is the only actual established character in the story to be shown at all. And the rest of it is all seemingly new characters, or as I would suggest, these are supposed to be player characters. This is supposed to be showing us, look, these are the things you will be doing. You are this badass engineer with a hammer, ripping people to pieces in a way you've never seen before. You are fighting this dragon, breathing fire all over the place. And that's very interesting to me. They've kept like many cards on the table for as to what could happen with the story. And they're just content with Ritlock hammering stuff out as the relevant. Oh my goodness.
And it does look cool. It does look cool. I just really wonder that move that Ritlock does, something like from an anime where he just like, he does that, you know, you ever seen Advent Children, Final Fantasy VII? Where Cloud does this like zooms past when he's like killing Sephiroth. It looks like that. And I'm like, hold up, is that a move in game? Like that kind of looks like something that Keith would do. Because I would like to play as Ritlock and see his adventures down below, is what I remember we were talking before. I want to see his adventures down below. I would like that for that to be part of the story. That would be really cool. Like he sits down, he's just like, yeah, you know, after I went down with Sir Hoffen and you see like the world branch out in the mist. Oh my gosh, you can see how he became a Revenant. I would love to actually start the game down. Oh man, that would be really cool. That would be really cool. Like start the Living Story 3. Is it gonna be called Living Story 3?
This is exactly what you just got me thinking of. There's still so many questions left unanswered in my mind. Like so they're basically saying yes, the story's continuing. It looks like it's continuing exactly where season 2 left off. This gives us some ideas of the time frame of this expansion to drop. But then the question is, what is this going back to personal story stuff? Are we Are we going to just getting a huge chunk of living world basically dropped at once kind of thing? They say it's always this. It's essentially the same stuff. It's really curious to me. Are we going? There's so many questions that I have about whether we get our choices back. Because I'm an Asura, right? And you are not. Are we going to have different stories when we start playing Heart of Thorns? Because it goes back to that kind of thing. Are our orders coming back in? These are important questions. Like none of it could really be elaborated on. I cannot believe that an hour and a half went by so quickly. And it feels like so little was elaborated on. You know, here's some vague ideas about some cool stuff, but we won't tell you exactly how we're pulling that off. You know, like the masteries thing, okay? They told us, yeah, look, this is going to enable you to explore a bit better. They told us specifically with the lore side of things. I think that's great, the idea of actually being able to learn languages and translate them. That suggests we're going to get some new UI stuff in the game. It really is phenomenal to me. But then they say, all right, masteries are also going to have an impact on combat. But we're not going to tell you. No, you don't get to know exactly how that affects combat.
Well, what about guild halls? Guild halls, we have no idea how that works either.
Right, yeah. I mean, this is another huge feature we haven't even touched on. So for those who perhaps didn't play GW1, one of the most exciting things about guild halls in this game was you could choose a guild hall, and this would be the guild hall you could actually play guild versus guild, very competitive PvP game type on. And so there was the notion of home advantage. You know, you pick the guild hall and your guild group practiced on this like mad, and you would have home matches and away matches. It was really, really exciting. Our guild halls exactly where the new Stronghold game type are going to be taking place? Does this all tie in together? Where you get to make guild teams, but there's just so many questions. Where are they located? Are they instances just completely separate from everywhere else in the world? Are ArenaNet scared that by doing that, again, they're going to fragment the player base? Instead of seeing all these random and cool people in populous zones, in Divinity's Reach and the Black Citadel and so forth, instead everyone's just hiding away in their guild hall where no one outside their small friend group will ever see them again. But that's not ideal for the game. That's not something that I think that they would want. So how are they implementing it? They just say guild halls. All right, there you go. Have fun. Everybody cheers and goes bonkers. It's like, tell us more, please. Need to know more. But they did say some interesting stuff. They talked about the idea that in guild halls you could prepare for missions, right? You could prepare for missions. So what, are they just saying, yeah, you know, guild missions that currently exist in the game, are we getting more of those? You know, and so what, is there an idea that we can actually queue into different things from our guild hall? Is it mechanically offering us anything, or really is it just a social place to meet up? Provide a hub for your community for years to come. It's one of the little quotes that I wrote down there. And I just don't know exactly what they could mean with it.
So much more. So much more. Our contact, David, was like, oh, have you seen the improved graphics? I'm like, we improved graphics? That's a term? Is this confirmed or whatever? I don't know if I should be saying that. Yeah, but I'm going to show you guys. It's going to look really ugly. But here is improved graphics. Here is what he was talking about.
Okay, interesting.
Here we go.
And yeah, guys, I am melting down just a little bit.
WP is actually holding the camera live right now. He's been holding it strong. It's amazing how you can talk like that and hold the camera at the same time.
Steady hands, my friend. And that candle is just like a beastly candle that will never burn down.
So these right here are screenshots.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, these are screenshots right here. This is also a screenshot. This looks like more of the same, maybe some nice bloom stuff. And then here's another screenshot, which looks really, really cool. Really cool.
They just look so expansive, the areas.
Yeah.
One of them definitely looks like Arbor Bay from GW1. Definitely does.
And then we have some concept art. Oh, that doesn't want to show. But we have some concept art as well, which I'll get up. But yeah, just a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff I want to know. Guild halls, I definitely want to know how that works. I definitely want to see the new Borderlands and see how it feels. I was really excited when they did the overfloor Borderlands, and that was really fun. I mean, being able to fall off the map and everything. The new game mode for PvP, will this get me back into PvP?
Or more is it silly for us to ask this question? I'm gonna go there though. Esports? Anybody?
Esports.
Is that stupid? Or can we maybe go somewhere? I thoroughly believe that it has the potential to really move things. But then what does
Right.
that mean for Conquest, you know? Are they now that they've said, right, we've got this game type that we've spent so long since launch focusing on, now they're revealing another one to us. What does this say to what, what basket are their eggs in at this point, right? Are they saying, yeah, it's all going to move over ideally to Stronghold? We actually think we have a better game type here. Conquest is at its due. It's at 2.5 years. It's done okay. We think we can do something better. And, you know, they're looking to what they did as a company in the past and recreated something that many fans have been asking for a long time. But it's curious to me that, again, I mean, they never really achieved esports with, as foolish as it sounds to say something like that, with Conquest. So what are they going to try and support 2 game modes at once? What do the tournaments move over to?
Right.
How do they decide what the players want to see? You know, and that's going to be curious. I'm expecting lots of comments from PvP balance teams and so forth. Again, if you guys had just joined us, we did announce it at the start of our little stream here. In a short period of time, there will be interviews live from PAX again, so do stay tuned because you'll be able to check that out. Half these questions we've been asking, they will be starting to get answered.
Okay, so we're going to switch over back to the interview. So we'll see you guys back in a couple minutes.
Perfect.
If they didn't already switch over.
Wow.
If they didn't, then we can still, I guess we can just still chill and
This
talk.
is going to be awkward as hell now. Now we're just going to be randomly talking in the middle of something and they'll just cut us off. And I hate it when that happens on streams and stuff. But now I feel like I'm going to be a part of it. What do we do?
It's totally fine. We can just chill.
DirectX 12? I mean, really? Maybe?
Maybe.
Is that the kind of thing you can really just slap in as people are so flippantly saying?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean,
Yeah, you can slap it in. It's going to be used in Xbox, and everyone's going to
it's Heart of Thorns on consoles, baby.
Oh gosh. Let's not do that. Let's totally not do that.
And not just consoles. It's going to be supporting the previous gen of consoles and the previous gen to that, PS2, Guild Wars 2. Here we go. This allows all the people in, you know, less wealthy countries of the world to play. This is very important for us. Man, it's crazy. Some of the stuff they said about World vs. World, holding keeps gives you access to different abilities. It sounds an awful lot like what they were doing in Edge of the Mist. They said, for example, the Earth Keep. You hold the shrines and locations.
All right. He says he's going to start passing over now. So apparently that didn't happen. All right, so you're going to have the interview with Colin Johansson, all right, and Mike O'Brien, all right? So we'll see you guys in, I don't know how long, and then we'll
be back for the gem giveaway prize, so check that out.
Check that out. All right, guys. All right, we're back on live.
Oh my God, what a disaster! Why would you do this?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Nothing has happened.
Nothing happened at all.
Nothing happened at all.
So, dude, he just dropped a bomb. 6 weeks, and people will be playing it.
6 weeks? Yeah. Well, he didn't announce the release date, but
I know. I thought we were about to get a release date a second ago.
I
thought we were.
Yeah, I totally thought we were. I totally thought we were.
So what we're going to do here, guys, we're going to, if you want to, Matt, the 6,400 gems winner.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. And we got to do the small ones too.
Yeah. Well, we can do this more. Okay, so again, to remind everyone, if you drop a comment on either my channel page on YouTube or Matt's channel page on YouTube, all you have to do is leave a comment over there. After this stream is over, we will be giving 8 people on either channel.
So 16 in
gems.
total. It's 16 in total.
16 chances to win 400 gems over there in that way. Otherwise, guess once again Matt's favorite die color.
Yeah.
Do you want to do the drum roll again, and then
we could do the drum roll.
You have to tell me when it's over because I can't hear.
Okay. We'll do the drum roll.
Okay, I've got the winner. I've just picked the winner.
Okay. All right.
Okay, the winner is Erfiness. ERFINESS. You, my friend, just won an awful lot of gems. I'll be messaging you on Twitch right now. You're just gonna have to respond to us. We'll get that code over to you pronto. And yeah, this was a pretty good day, right?
Yeah, pretty good. Oh, and the answer was redemption. So there you go.
Oh right, yeah. Sorry.
The answer was redemption.
Yeah, that was way too easy, dude. We picked the question and everyone was just spamming the hell. Redemption.
I told you they're like, hold up, why is everyone spamming redemption? Apparently, a lot of people pay attention to what I say in my videos. Yeah, redemption is one of my favorite ones because of the gold. I like.
Are you wearing Redemption as well?
No. I used to bling it up back in the days, but you know what I'm saying? I don't do that no more. You know?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Sure.
I don't bling it up.
Okay.
See, nothing here, just
Well,
an undershirt.
Will you bling it up
And a lot
when
of
we
hair.
get?
Huh?
Oh no, that's okay. We don't have to talk about HOT. We should just get naked on stream, yeah.
Yeah. No. We're talking about HOT. All right. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'll get a potato peeler and slowly peel that potato, yeah. That'll be real
So
good.
what do you think? What do you think about that? What do you think about that interview there? Perfect. Amazing.
Well, I don't know. Clearly, the guy had someone just asking him questions in his ear and had no idea what the hell was going on. But sure, okay. And I mean, we didn't really get any new information until that bit at the end. I mean, that first question was a good question. You know, why have they kept the existence of the expansion so close to the chest for so long? I'd love a real answer to that, you know,
Right.
because I do think that's been an important decision they've made and one that they've stuck by. And, you know, that's respectable to stick by your decisions. But I'd like to know why. You know, I think that the community has suffered a lot because they didn't announce this thing exists. And I wonder, you know, how long ago did they start working on this? Was it, I mean, we're getting one region, right? How cynical can you be? Did they only start this summer when there was a bit of a community backlash?
No. That would be amazing if they made all that in just a summer. No, they've been working on this ever since, you know, like, because they had a community, they had a set team for Living Story, right? They had a set team for everything, and then all of a sudden there's like a few hundred people that are just like not working on anything. Yeah, those people have been working on this for a while, I think. I mean, this is a lot. This is a lot. A new class, a new weapon for each class. A new
It's more than a new weapon, though. The specialization could be so much more.
So much more. Yeah. And it's stuff that we haven't even heard of yet, which is great.
Absolutely. And it sounds like they've set up really well information over the next few weeks as well, guys, or even months, you know. I remember before launch, a few of you guys who followed it as enthusiastically as I did, you'll remember the way they released those professions. Do you remember those 8 characters stood on that screen? They were all grayed out. Slowly, they got colored in. Each time they did, they released videos showing skills, talking about mechanics and stuff, and slowly you could highlight and click through them all. What if they do that kind of thing again, guys? You know, we'll have the druid appear first. It's going to be so weird playing Guild Wars 2 and talking about playing a druid. I mean, Jesus. But then they will slowly fill them in. Oh, gods. It's going to be great. They're setting these things up. There's big gaps in what we've been told here. We just kind of get the general idea, right? And I think I like everything that they've said for their general ideas, right?
Right. Man. So, all right. What do you think? I came in as a guy who was just like, okay, I hope this is really good. You know, I hope this is not like another thing like, oh, they're just going to show like a world boss and then that's it, you know, and it's going to be, whatever. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you came in kind of a little bit skeptical too, right? But you were okay with how things were going anyway.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, we can talk about. Do you want to? Because you haven't playing so much recently.
Right.
Do you think this is the kind of thing? Because there's going to be a lot of people, and a lot of people listening right now who are in the same boat. They haven't been playing so much.
Right.
How has this affected your opinion of the game? Do you think that this is gonna bring you back big time? Can you see yourself working a lot on mushrooms?
Yeah. From what they showed so far, absolutely, I'm gonna play the expansion. Absolutely, I'm gonna buy it, and I'm gonna play it. Because I already liked Guild Wars 2. I love Guild Wars 2 as an MMO for a year. Like recently with the Living Story patches, I didn't feel like it was for me. Like there wasn't enough there to keep me playing other than just logging in and doing the Living Story. And that's pretty much it. And now with all this, and they haven't even released all the information for it, I think this could be really, really cool to play. This will bring back the experience that I felt when I first started playing the game. That experience that I haven't had in other MMOs.
Of exploring a new area.
Exploring a new area and feeling fantastic when you complete a hard and find a boss that you've never seen before. Or all of a sudden you find this little crevice and it leads to a jumping puzzle. That type of experience that I felt when I was playing the game for the first time, I want that again.
Do you think then there's going to be hearts back? I remember there was one specific thing that was mentioned there. They said you would get mastery points when you fully complete exploring a new map. Is this their answer to the world completion thing, to complete exploring these new places?
I'm pretty sure he said hearts. I'm pretty sure.
Did he mention hearts?
I think he did. Someone correct us in the chat. I think they mentioned hearts.
See, because it's felt like they're trying to move away from hearts. Hearts were always just something that they were trying to put in the game to direct people who in QA didn't quite understand how the dynamic event system worked. If the expansion is dealing with primarily level 80 areas, which it looks like it is, it would strike me that they don't want the hearts. Look at the Silver Waste, look at the Dry Top. They've been moving away from that. They want the events to speak for themselves, to carry themselves. So I wonder. I don't actually dislike hearts too much. I think that done right, they can be very, very...
I mean, once you're level 80, you don't really need to complete a heart, right? So it doesn't really matter. So, as a counter argument. But I definitely would like to see the events always constantly going as well.
Absolutely. I mean, and the cool thing to me as well is if they have really complicated terrains and things, we could see so many interesting ideas being used with events, with meta events sprawling across the maps, similar to perhaps how we saw the meta events in the Silver Waste and Dry Top, but, significantly affecting the geography of the maps. We saw whole walls being built out of nowhere in World vs. World. We could be seeing this kind of stuff in PvE as well. That's going to be really exciting to me, just to see how far they can push the dynamic events. And they can do some crazy things for exploration. A lot of people say that their favorite thing about Guild Wars 2 was that first time exploring the world, that first time leveling up, right? Like it had one of the best leveling experiences for any MMO they've ever experienced. Well, in this, it seems like they've just taken that and times it by 2, right? Because there's so much more going on with the masteries that just sort of layer into that whole experience. And okay, so my next question to you as well is, do you think that this is the thing the veterans have been waiting for? Think about your friend.
Yeah. Go ahead. Think about my friend. What?
Think about your friends that have quit. Everyone can do this right now. Yeah, we all know people that have quit. They're not about.
Yeah.
Can you imagine opening a conversation with them right now and saying, "All right, this is the expansion. This is what they're adding. Do you picture them coming back?"
I have to play it first. I feel like I have to play it first. I feel like I have to say, all right, this is how you do that, because it depends on people have left for different reasons. A lot of people like to throw out just one thing, like, oh, there's no end game, that's why I left. Like, no, there's something more to that. Like, oh, it might be like because they don't have enough dungeons, or they didn't like the World v World, and they didn't like that there isn't a system to upgrade in World v World, which there is now. There's so many things that people have left for, but people like to just say one thing, and it means like such a variety of things. End game means a lot. End game is what you do when you finish leveling up your character. It depends. It depends on what you consider end game, and what end game feels to everyone is that it's like a gear grind that you constantly gear grind over and over again, which I never had like a humongous problem for. I played MMOs for a while. It doesn't really bother me too much, but it right now with that I play so many games, like I feel like it does bother me. And I felt like Guild Wars 2 did it right. And sometimes I go from Guild Wars 2 to another MMO because I just like leveling up to max in other MMOs. Arcade, WildStar. Every time something new comes out, I always like to level up in them. And I was like, you're tagging my mob. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I don't want to do this anymore. And yes, Guild Wars 2 did a lot of good things right. And I feel like this will, I think a lot of people liked what Guild Wars foundation was. And if this is if they add everything that they need, these areas are huge. There's a lot more skills. There's a lot more build diversity. They changed the way the character feels, so it feels like a new character. The character progression is good because they could continue to add mastery points, I guess, things to get with mastery points.
Things to spend.
Spend mastery points, because it's gonna be like karma, where you start getting a lot of it for people who play a lot. They start getting everything. They can keep adding more and more and more and more, and they can, like the community was saying, oh, we want this, we want that, and then they can just kind of add it in with another patch, another living story patch or whatever, and that would be cool to see.
I'm so curious about, in addition to this, right? Yes, this is here. This is now set a precedent. This is set a precedent that this is the way Guild Wars 2 works. And again, I was hoping they'd talk about this more, but it set up the idea that you have Guild Wars 2, a big release comes along, an X-Pack of some kind, releases a new region, a bunch of stuff, perhaps more than one at some point, whatever. And between them, we have Living World as expansion bridges. That's what they seem to be saying to us, that this is how this franchise will work. I really want confirmation on that. I really want them to elaborate on that idea. And I really want to see what the Living World is going to... I mean, are they saying that they're happy with the rate of content produced by the Living World team at the moment? And that this isn't going to change, you know, season 2 quality from here on out?
Right.
Or
we're going to have a blank, like, it's not going to be nothing. Like, we're going to be hyped about this, and then the Guild Wars 2, like, just, I wonder, is there going to be anything for the next coming weeks? You know?
Right.
There's going to be a balance patch. A balance patch that's going to come out, and then that, you know, what else? What is going to come out? Are we going to get Super Adventure Box?
Yeah, imagine if this had closed, right? Imagine if everything happened, but as it closed, instead of playing, like, some of the environmental music here, they just put the Super Adventure Box theme on in the background, and that was it. That was the only hint to it. But there it was. It was the Super Adventure Box theme. They would have freaked out, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I would. I want it. I want it to be permanent too. I don't want it to just leave. But yeah, I wonder what they're gonna do with the big air that they have. If they've been working on it for so long, hopefully they have. Then maybe it's almost here. Maybe it's coming out this year.
6 weeks, it's playable. What are we thinking? Those demos, the old demos, they used to give us like a map or two perhaps to explore. I would expect, you know, there'll be demo stations where you can play in one of these new maps, find out a couple of the masteries. Maybe some TPVP stuff will be available in addition. But, you know, so I've got to be honest, there's something sitting weird with me. It's the idea of it just being 3 new maps. You know, an expansion adding 3 new maps.
You think it's gonna be small?
I'm not sure how I feel about it. It depends. You know, if there's been engine changes and they can do. I mean, look at this trailer. Look at how expansive the environs are. Maybe it doesn't matter that it's 3 maps. Maybe these maps are friggin' bonkers, dude.
Yeah, I think it might be pretty dang huge. Which makes me think. I really hope they're ready for the massive amount of people that are gonna be on one map.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know,
do you think
and people want to play together. You know, they're gonna have to have a way. I wonder if they change the way that you can maybe go on different type of overflow servers with your friends. You know, I wonder if they're thinking about those types of things. Are they gonna?
Okay, all right. Listen, everyone's dropping messages here.
Yeah.
It's not 3 maps that was stated. It's stated that in the new maps, in the expansion, there will be 3 distinct biomes within them. As in, you can be in a very specific environment when you're very high up. Maybe when you're a bit lower down, things look a bit different, and even lower down, it's even more different than that.
Biomes.
I specifically remember that now. I'm blaming you for this, Matt.
You're right.
Because I didn't say 3 maps at first.
I'm wrong. 3 biomes.
3 biomes. There we go.
I feel like he said something about maps, but maybe I'm wrong. I think he said something, but I definitely remember 3 biomes. And when I hear biomes, like, what does that mean? 1 map with 3 biomes? No, there's no reason it's gonna be 1 map. So maybe there's a couple, like there's huge areas that is considered a biome, and then there's a couple maps within that biome, and then another biome, then a couple maps within that biome, and then another biome, and then a couple maps within that biome. I think that could work. So it could be like 9 maps and 3 maps for each biome. It could be like that, because it looks like so many areas in this trailer. Like there's no way. There's so many areas in one.
Yeah,
packed into one place. Yeah.
There's really craggy areas. You look at what it feels like when it's showing the fallen packed fleet. You've got these incredible golden-looking areas. You've got cave-type areas. You've got a lot of jungle-looking stuff. There's like some kind of crevice in the floor at some point. You're going to see people flying past. My goodness, yeah. Okay, all right. No, that's good. See, this is exciting to me. This is very exciting.
Like that right there, with like, you go way up in the air in the airships, in the broken down airships. That's gonna be really amazing. The broken down airship map is probably gonna be one of the first maps you see. You want to see the devastation, and there's probably gonna be a living story, or whatever you want to call it, expansion story. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be together with the living story. I think. In some way, because it's all the same. Colin has mentioned many times, it's all the same. It's not different. Personal story, living story. It's not different. I remember that was a big thing way back. Like, oh, when is gonna be more personal story? We hate the living story, and then they actually made the personal story. I mean, the living story.
The living world
really
better
good.
than personal story.
Yeah.
See, what I'm very interested in as well, and I think could be very much under ArenaNet's crosshair at the moment, is the idea that when we originally had Guild Wars 2 launch, they had some stagger time. They can't deny this. For the first 6 months or so, they weren't sure what the hell was going on, what they were doing, and so we didn't see Living World for a long period of time. Period of time that saw many people already leave the game. But what we're going to have now is we're going to have an expansion pack drop right into a game that already has streaming Living World updates and infrastructure ready for it. So all these new players, returning players coming back for Heart of Thorns, if this can hype people enough and get people excited enough and deliver enough, they're not just coming back for Heart of Thorns, they're coming back for, hopefully, very good Living World too. And that means a bigger audience for GW2 that sticks around, you know, that avoids the typical expansion player-based spikes.
I would love that. Yeah, because a lot of what tends to happen is it tends to really spike up and then kind of drop down. You know,
Absolutely,
it kind of drops down, and I don't want that anymore. I want it to stay up. You know.
Yeah, for sure, man.
And someone was saying any pole arms or spears or anything like that. We saw a spear. Ritlock was using a spear.
Yeah, looks like a Revenant. Here's the weird thing. Think about this too. We've got the Revenant. What are the Revenant specializations?
Yeah.
Is that just a Revenant thing, or is it a Revenant specialization?
He has to have a specialization. They can't do that. They can't just Revenant is not equal to other races. Like, he's too powerful to have a specialization. No. He has to be. This is not League of Legends where you just come up with a new character and he's like OP for like 2 months. Okay, well, not 2 months, but yeah, you know what I mean. But there's no new races. No, sadly, there's no new races. I'm looking at the chat here. No new races.
What do you think about the idea that they could have just been open about that and said, look, we know, you kind of go for that humble approach where they specifically mention, I mean, I get this event is probably just supposed to be all about hype, right, and nothing else, but it would have been very interesting to see them say at the same time, so this expansion isn't actually going to come with a new race, but we do have do you think that would just be stupid, shooting themselves in the foot, unnecessary? Obviously, they think that way. But would you have liked to have seen them quite openly say, hey, yeah, look, guys, there's no Tengu or anything like this coming just yet. That's a whole other kettle of fish. Is it important that this wasn't mentioned?
I don't think they should just let it slide by. I don't know. Like, I don't think it's that much of a thing. They could be honest. Maybe not in. Maybe like on the forums or something, or like in an interview, but not like in front of like thousands and thousands of people,
Yeah.
It's just like people who absolutely want to know, they can find it, instead of it being like just like no, because people take things. What tends to happen is the reason why they're scared is that the people tend to take things out of context. Like, oh, they're never having a new race. Oh my gosh, People say, oh, they're never having an expansion. Oh my gosh, look what happened today. It's pretty crazy. And I was skeptical. I was just like, man, I am so sad. Where's the expansion? It's been so long.
Apparently, this is totally off topic, but someone just sent a message. Apparently, in the trailer, there is also a thief with a rifle. And perhaps this is like some kind of a sniper specialization. That's a cool idea. Even assassin would kind of fit. I like it a lot. And you're right. This is something that a lot of people have been waiting for. And are you happy that they called it just a straight up expansion? That they didn't try and reinvent the wheel?
Yeah, because why? Why?
This is marketable, right? This is something people will understand.
Yeah, it's. Them trying to not call it an expansion is going to hurt them because people just don't understand anything else. The MMO expansion, that's it. It's like WoW. Like MMO, I mean, WoW has expansions every couple times. A year? Every year and a half, sort of.
About
2 years, yeah. That's just the way it is. You can't just You can't just try to reinvent it if people are just not going to grasp it. Like, if you're huge, like, if you're like League of Legends, you know how League of Legends invented MOBA?
Oh,
no, we want to be a MOBA. We don't want to be Dota. We want to be MOBA. Like, they reinvented it. When they're big, when Mike O'Brien's future comes to fruition, he can say, you know what? This is not going to be an expansion. This is going to be a huge update, and it's going to be free. because we are getting loads of money and we don't care. And it's just going to be like, yeah, these guys are awesome because they're giving free content, and people just go nuts over that, you know? I would definitely believe that, yeah. But yeah, go ahead.
Someone just said as well, can we please talk about the fact that Ritlock doesn't use a weapon for a number of his skills?
What do you mean?
Well, apparently in the trailer he's not using a weapon for most of his skills. Do you think we're finally getting it unarmed?
All right, I gotta find it.
Maybe it's just animations at some point. And yes, this Mesmer. Well, that's either the Mesmer or Revenant. I don't know. But using a shield again, that could be a specialization. It definitely looks like it. I think most of the speculation fuel is going to be on that for a while. Maybe the new legendaries. I'm most curious about the new legendaries. They picked weapons, man, and fine. Okay, new legendary weapons. One thing that many of us will have missed out in this community was the original rush with the legendary weapons when no one knew how they were made. And that was a huge part of the game, figuring out even how to make the damn things, filling in those spreadsheets. Most of us who have ever made a legendaries, we never put that legwork in. When this expansion comes out, even if people have crazy amounts of money to spend, there's going to be a huge community rush to figure out how to create these things. And if it's tied to the new content, that's going to be very, very exciting.
That's what they need. They need that discovery. They need that. That's what keeps people playing and socializing, first of all. Like, oh, someone's like, oh, how do I craft this? And people are like, oh, you craft it this way. Because there are a lot of nice people in Guild Wars 2. Now, I'm not saying all of them are nice. Let's be honest here. Right? But, yeah,
wow,
there's a lot of...
shots fired there.
Yeah, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Shots fired.
Listen. On PvP, you know, what are you doing? Get to mid. What are you doing? Get to mid. What are you doing? And it's just like, yo, I don't even read chat. You know what I'm saying? You know?
Sounds like you did. Sounds like you read a lot of it, and it's wounded you.
Oh no.
Do you want a hug, Matt? Do you want a hug?
No. You know what? Yeah, please. Can you hug me?
Oh.
I feel your warmth. Yeah.
Careful of the candle. Careful.
Oh my gosh.
Do you think the Revenant class will have any cosmetic armor options? It seems like every image has been the same blindfolded outfit. Well, that's because we've only seen Ritlock and maybe that chick. I would expect it to have all the heavy armor options the others get, right? Like, is that really a question? It's totally going to feed into that, surely. The cool thing about that, too, guys, is if you play a Warrior or a Guardian, you're also going to get new heavy armor options from the Revenant stuff that is added to the game.
Oh, no. What do you mean? Like, he thinks that the class is only going to have blindfolds?
Oh, I see what you mean. No, surely not.
No,
It'll probably be
not.
like a Steam.
Absolutely not.
Think about the Mesmer, guys. Think of a big theme visually of the Mesmer is the idea that they wear these masks, okay? And at character creation, you get the masks. But after that, nothing's forcing you to stick with them, and very rarely people do, you know? It will be the same with this, you know? It'll be a variety of blindfolds, probably. Man, how are they going to update the login screen and stuff? And choosing your character, you know, when you get to pick your profession? Another guy will be slotted in there.
And I want it in Twitch. I want in Twitch it's a Guild Wars 2 Heart of Thorns, just like World of Warcraft has Warlords of Draenor. I want that. Can I have that? I want that. When I'm streaming, I want to see that. You know, it's just like, oh, Guild Wars 2. It's just not Guild Wars 2 anymore. It's an expansion. Things that people have been wanting for a long time. And if you're a returning player or you haven't been logging in the game ever since launch, because I know a lot of those people. Believe me, I used to have a guild, and all of them just disappeared because they just didn't want to play anymore. And some of them were casuals too. So you know, I'm just playing.
Wow.
I get kind of casual.
That's coming from Matt Casual, there, guys.
Exactly. It's really cool. I lost my train of thought, and I was
just reading chat. There's all kinds of. Apparently that chick is a Mesmer, because it's light armor and it's not a Revenant. So yeah.
But the game has gone through a lot of updates that laid a good foundation of all the problems that have been fixed. The reason why they have left. And this expansion is just kind of it's gonna.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I did a video recently on my account just showing different stuff off, and I had a lot of comments on there from people who didn't actually realize like how many aggregate changes had actually come in, you know, with the mail carriers and the new mini system and all of the wardrobe, everything sort of all staggered up together in the collections. I think people will be surprised, especially if we get another feature pack drop before this goes live. You know, there's stuff where someone else just left a comment about the fact that season 1 returning wasn't mentioned. You know, that I feel like that is the kind of thing that they could drop in there. You know, and say, oh, and to those of you returning, you will be able to play the entire story. Season 1 is coming back. Like, what is their division of labor here? Is that I have so many questions. I want to do an interview, Matt. We should get an interview. We should make this a thing.
We should.
Me and you, let's interview them, and we'll have all the questions and stuff. It'll be amazing.
Well, they're obviously hearing us right now, right?
Dude, no, I really think we should try and set up. This is probably a conversation for after the podcast.
Yeah. Well, this is not really the podcast. This is just us like talking about the show. We do this. We do this every week, guys, and that's why it's just.
Oh, nice
like
plug,
that.
bro.
Oh,
Nice.
I'm just saying.
You can find that at youtube.com/Matt.
Everyone leaves. Oh, by the way, the reason why I can see some of your questions is because I have better Twitch, and when you put @MattVisual, it like pops up in black, so I can actually see the question. It's what I use on my stream, so it's a lot easier when people ask me a question, because sometimes a lot of spam goes up. Yeah, the interview would be nice.
Someone just asked if we were supposed to know who E was. That's not true. No, it was never said that E would be revealed in season 2. It was a misquote from a dev who said that he had seen who E was by reading plot details, but that is not the same thing as I mean, it kind of suggests maybe we would find out, but it doesn't say outright. So, guys, and also, I'm not actually filming a potato right now. I can't put my hand.
He is filming.
I'm sorry.
Don't
break
kill
the illusion.
the magic. Don't kill it.
Oh my goodness.
Jeez. Will there be a new race? Well, they haven't announced anything though. They haven't. Oh my gosh, you guys are spamming it now. Now it's just regular spam. I can't tell what a question is.
Did Ritlock get pants?
Apparently he did. Look at that.
I think he did, my friend. Do you think that was for us? That was definitely just for us, right?
Yeah, it was definitely for us. Come on now.
Oh my God.
Who makes jokes about underwear and not wearing pants? But us. We don't make poop jokes. We make pants jokes.
It's true, guys. That is just a regular potato. I'm sorry. The 3 floating things are totally Massart. Look at them. All you have to do is look at the headgear, the wings and stuff. It's nice to see them in game. I like the new design. And it totally, as well, based on that shot, looks like they're not our enemies. Or at least they're not... Okay, so they might still be our enemies, but at least there's a moment where we're in negotiations with them. And that excites me a thrilling amount. It's not the same as, oh, we're fighting the centaurs, and there's like never any discourse, no true discourse, no true chance at peace or an alliance or some kind that actually has some significance or intrigue in the story. No. Here we're actually looking at, you know, characters approaching these Massart, and they're not hostile. That is cool. So yeah.
The spam, guys. The spam is all too real. Oh, okay. Oh, we have some real questions here that are strolling. Oh my gosh, I can't even control it. Okay. You want to grab some of these?
All right. Well, which one are you looking at? Because we've got 2 different streams to get questions from. We could like half and half.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah. Go ahead and grab one.
All right. Okay.
When we're getting off.
At Wooden Potatoes, there's more than one Massart left alive interior. Yes, and this absolutely suggests that too, doesn't it? Or it means Lazarus the Dyer has begun his work already, and he is bringing the Massart already from elsewhere in the mists. Perhaps his brethren from thousands of years ago at the previous Elder Dragon Rising, those that fled Tyria and never returned, maybe he's finally getting them back. That is going to be badass. I mean, we see 3 of them there. These things are powerful. For anyone who didn't play GW1, these are the original villains of the franchise. It's good. And the whole Masteries thing with the different civilizations that we'll be able to interact with. One part of this trailer actually says new civilizations, right? Oh my God. So we're going to be transcribing their ruins and maybe other people's too. They seem to be showing Hylek civilizations, or maybe are they the Hecate? Woo! God, my mind is getting crazy. There's too much stuff.
What legendary weapon type would you go for with the precursor?
See, I was planning on making a second incinerator for my Ellie. Mm-hmm. But now, maybe, it depends on when release date and stuff is announced and stuff, but maybe I'll go for the new legendary dagger, and I'll dual wield 1 incinerator, 1, frost incinerator. Whatever. Like, that's going to be so cool.
I wonder. Like it's a thing. It's just like I want to go. I want to go for the scepter, but I wonder how the new scepter is gonna be.
Yeah, you didn't.
You know?
You like Meteorologicus?
Yeah, I kind of. It's cool. It's
Oh,
cool.
get out! This is it. Our friendship's over. Meteorologicus is one of the coolest legendaries.
Yeah,
I had that thing before the footsteps.
but you can't see it. Like when you zoom into it, it's amazing. But when you like, if you're not big, then you can't see all the like craziness and detail that they put into that legendary.
Someone just asked me, do you think they're finally going into their resources from the cancelled Utopia expansion? I don't understand that question. I get that people are excited. It's Tarnished Coasty type stuff. Maybe some inspiration from those old stories there. There was one interview, guys, with devs in the past, 5 years where they even remotely hinted that some of those stories they'd established and dropped because of Eye of the North and so forth were actually still relevant. I don't think Utopia is something we can point to anymore. Not like coming up on 10 years, well, maybe not as much as 10 years, but so far after its initial conception, we shouldn't think of Utopia anymore. We should just think of the story that they've currently set up with the dragons and so forth. And, this tipping of the world as we destroy the Elder Dragons and throw things out of balance. And I guess another thing I'm a bit disappointed in is there's not actually that much that we can go on story-wise, except obviously the reveal of the Massart. But is that much more of a step forward than what we already had? From the previous trailer that again seemed to just show a Massart.
That's right.
Can
wow,
God?
I didn't even think about that. The Massart that you're speculating that it was the Massart in the trailer.
Yeah, already, right?
Yeah. And then now, boom, it's right there. The new revised version. Ooh. I've never got the chance to play that in the old game, so it would be nice. I think I skipped it. I think I skipped that part. I was just going for the achievements, man.
It's not good.
We should play it together.
No. Matt said this to me the other day on Skype. You said it was a bad idea. I didn't respond because it is a bad idea. No. Do you know how big that game is? Oh my goodness, dude.
It is huge. It took
I already
me days.
did it all once. I already did it.
Hey, you know why I do it again?
Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Why not do a scene-by-scene analysis right now?
It's not gonna work with the way this works. It's gonna be all ugly and stuff. We'll wait for the ugliness later. And of course, Winning Potatoes here. As soon as he gets off this stream, you know what he's gonna be doing.
Do you notice how it looks like there's 10 characters there, or 10 people walking up to the Massart? Suggestions that perhaps party cap expansions, content designed for more than five people. It's totally a thing there. I can't imagine such a specific scene laid out like that to be in the open world.
That move there in the beginning looks like something that's really good for PvE. Like the whole circle thing, and I guess it slows them down, or pulls them together. That's like something you will see out of I don't know, one of those MOBAs, I guess you can say. I would like to see some controlling like that, because I think the new skills that they're adding might change the way the game is played. It may not be this, whole click on the guy. Well, I mean, it's never been like that, but yeah. I'm really interested in seeing their new designs of having a different feel to certain characters.
I've got an interesting thing here as well, someone just said. It's kind of just whizzed me down. Do you think hang gliders will take a utility slot or be an equipable item from our inventories like the experimental rifles? To me, it doesn't look like either. I think that equipping stuff out of your inventory would be a little bit too clunky. I think that putting stuff on your utility skills and swapping around constantly also is too clunky and not intuitive enough. I think that there's going to be specific hang gliding spots that as you jump off, or perhaps if you fall enough distance. What's curious to me, though, is it looks like people are rising up because of these gusts of air and stuff. I don't know. I think that we'll be seeing some new stuff mechanically, guys, that automatically equips things onto us. In fact, that's not even new. Think about the way that, friggin', I guess diving goggles work, right? Like, as you jump off, the game automatically strips all your clothes and stuff off and then allows you to use your abilities. They already have it there. They're demonstrated to us in the game that falling like that, they can change things. So I'm sure they had the hang gliding idea a long time ago. Do you know what I think they did, Matt? I think they watched our videos on this cool game that was huge in the end. It was called Cube World. and there was all this hang gliding stuff in Cube World. And so Guild Wars 2 was like,
Or
hell yeah.
Archage had hang gliding, man.
Did
was
it
really
now?
Cool. Yeah, it was really cool, really cool. They were like, you know what? We could do that. It probably doesn't work in our other maps, but it's gonna work in this map because we're building it from the ground up.
Someone just mentioned as well the fact that there seems to be a lot of stuff in this trailer to do with Primordus. This is one of the other Elder Dragons, not Morgemoth related. Obviously a big setup again for this expansion, as we had with the releases. How do we defeat the Elder Dragon? Obviously the packs have been destroyed. Now, I do find it curious that we've heard in the past that Elder Dragons will fight one another for territory. And one of the mysteries of this region of the world is why it all dried up and died. And, you know, perhaps why it was verdant in the first place. And one of my biggest speculations that I think I do stand by is I think Primordus is deep underground in the general area of Morgemoth right now. And we may see some conflict between these two dragons. I think that explains why the Maguma wastes and stuff dried up after Primordus woke up. And now Morgemoth is awake once again and it's flourishing out again. I think we may see conflict there. And I think that's why we see destroyers here. The idea of, you know, the keeps and stuff, or the fire shrine or whatever in World versus World that create these pathways. Maybe these are all assets and ideas they're using that we could see some big conflict between two Elder Dragons. Maybe kill two at once. These are some of the more exciting areas the story could go.
Speaking of that, someone asked, from the dragon skill Ritlock is using, do you think Glint is another Revenant that they can channel?
Oh my god, great idea. Dude, there are so many cool heroes that they could channel.
Yeah.
Glint's a dragon. Sure,
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a dwarf. They have a friggin' Marganite. They have Malix the Unyielding. Please, this is a giant ape demon. Oh my god, yes, it could be. Yeah, Glint, sure, why not? Anything. There's so many different characters that they could end up channeling. And as they announce more and more, I might start doing like little spotlights and stuff on who these characters were. Oh, dude.
Talking about video ideas.
I'm so buzzed. It's ridiculous. If you can invoke King Jarlis' Ironhammer's legend.
Let's do the giveaway. We didn't do the giveaway for the other gems.
Okay, all right. So how do you want to deal with this?
Let's do them right now. Let's do them all right now. We have what? How many more?
3 more to do.
3 more.
Well, no, we've pretty much got all of them to do. I didn't even do the necro specialization thing. Do you know what we could do? We could just slap those in, Matt, to the channel thing. Just be like, look, a bunch of you are going to win 400 gems, and 4 of you are going to win 1,200 gems.
Okay.
Not interested? Yeah. You think that's good?
All right. Let's do that. Let's give away one though. Let's give away one right now.
Okay. All right. How do you want to give it away?
I could do a raffle.
Okay.
Right now. Hold on. I haven't set it up yet, so don't spam raffle yet. You guys know how raffle works?
It's way too late. They're doing it.
Well, hold on.
Are you going to flip a coin to see which channel you're actually going to do it from? The Guild Wars 2's channel or yours?
Oh, yeah, it has to be from my channel. I don't have Guild Wars 2's Moobot. I don't have Guild Wars 2's Moobot.
That's not him just trying to get you to move channels,
guys.
Okay,
all right. Well, this is what we're going to do. On my channel, we'll do the raffle. On Guild Wars 2's channel, you can pick one. Using your way. By random. Okay?
My way? Okay, I'm just going to pick someone, am I?
Or you can all right, Guild Wars 2 channels, once you ask a question to the Guild Wars 2 channel ones. And then people on my channel, directly on my channel, do the raffle thing that you guys already know.
Okay, all right. So listen, guys, I want the best name to win these gems. I'm going to decide who wins based on who can give me the best specialization name for the engineer, because I really have no idea. The engineer. Give me a good specialization name. And it can't be like genius, which is what the PvP one is. So yeah. Everyone's just spamming gems. I guess we have to wait because of the delay. It's not how it's going to work.
I drew one. Kenny
Max
89, you have won. And I can announce it in chat? Okay, cool. Nice. Now that people are going to see it.
Plumber, MC Hammer.
Can you copy and paste one of the codes to me over Skype? The one that you're not using?
Technomancer. Oh, there's some good ones here. Golemancer. That's a bit too Asuri. Mecha Master. Oh my god, it's going so quick. I don't know. I like a lot of them. I have to make a decision here, don't I? Buccaneer. Oh my god, Buccaneer. It may not even be that great on theme, but yes, Buccaneer. That was creative enough for me. That's pretty interesting. If they went like kind of piratey-ish. That's for Sir Drea. You win 1,200 gems there, buddy. I'm going to send you a message, respond to that, and it's your lucky day.
All right. Send me one of the codes over Skype, so I can paste.
Brilliant. We're really professional, don't you think? Oh, I could just send him the code straight away. Why does he have to respond? Okay. All right. One of the 1,200 gem codes, yeah.
Yeah. Slap it.
Okay. Oh, we have so many emails. This is crazy. I got a lot of stuff to respond to.
Yeah, I do too. Oh my
Okay.
gosh, so much to do today. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
Guys,
okay.
you've been awesome. Thank you for chilling with us.
Yeah, we're going into wind down mode here, guys. There you go. There's one of the gems.
I'm about to go actually.
That's because Matt has a real life, guys. I would stay around.
No. Don't even play. We got the okay to go. We got the okay to go.
Brilliant.
So, guys, it's been good. It's been me, Matt Visual, and Wooden Potatoes. We both have channels. We're both in the community. That's why we got called to do this. And I hope you guys enjoyed our banter and rambling about the new expansion.
Absolutely,
We've
guys.
both been playing for years, so it's
weird
exciting. It's exciting. Yeah, it's weird to say years, isn't it?
Yeah.
Years.
It's been bothering me in this trailer, by the way. This is totally off topic. It's been bothering me that one of those guys is using an ability where he's basically just using Air Staff 2 on Elementalist, and it's shooting vines out, and it's like a total reuse, and it's annoying me. Whatever. Yeah, thanks very much for joining us, guys. This has been really awesome. Big day for Guild Wars 2. I'm really happy that we were invited to be a part of it. And
Absolutely.
Yes, we'll set lots of things to be excited about going forwards.
And we'll see you. I was about to say we'll see you next time, but
on VisualWood.
On VisualWood. All right, guys. Thank you, ANet, for letting us host. Bye.
Peace.
Peace.